Greetings, minions! Welcome to the inaugural devlog for Be My Horde, a top-down game where you embody Moriana, a formidable lich on a quest to conquer the fantasy realm by amassing colossal armies of the undead using the power of necromancy. Here, enemies are not mere obstacles. They are a resource. We encourage you to dive into the action. If you're watching this video during Steam Next Fest, the demo awaits you to experience the dark delights firsthand. In the meantime, join us on a journey behind the scenes as we unveil the origins of this project. And what better place to commence than with our protagonist, Moriana. From the project's infancy when it was simply titled Necromancer, our vision was clear. We wanted players to embrace the role of a powerful and, dare we say, villainous necromancer. In the initial prototypes, we utilized a model from our other fantasy game, Realms of Magic. However, the conventional, malevolent male lich felt uninspiring. Thus, we altered our course and transformed our hero, or should I say anti-hero, into a woman. Our graphic designer, Alicia Frelich, started from scratch. Her initial inspiration was the goddess Vlaakith from Baldur's Gate 3, an imperious, superior Machiavellian queen. It was crucial for us to depict her as proud, confident, and dominant, but we also aimed to infuse additional elements. Thus, the idea emerged to enhance our lich necromancer lady with sexiness and a seductive nature. This led us to draw inspiration primarily from Bayonetta. However, while we adore Bayonetta as a character, she isn't inherently evil. We desired our protagonist to evoke both fear and admiration, pure, fascinating evil. Our game director, Krzysztof Dadello, expanded on Alicia's original concept, adding more depth to her characteristics. She's a control freak with a lack of empathy. Her goals or motivations aren't complicated. She doesn't feel hate, and in general, she's not driven by emotions. To create a character who is repulsive yet intriguing, and to make people want to play as her, we had to put a lot of effort into developing her, both in terms of her personality and appearance. We flirted with the idea of necromancer reminiscent of the stereotypical dominatrix. Yet, with each concept art crafted by Alicia, we gravitated towards a style more similar to the iconic Morticia Addams. How our graphic designer recalls. The primary challenge was to craft the necromancer figure while steering clear of conventional, well-known attributes such as skulls, hoods, scythes, etc. I aimed to avoid the use of these stereotypical props. At a certain juncture, inspiration struck from Morticia Addams, a departure from the typical fantasy necromancer archetype. Instead, I envisioned a character embodying pride, elegance, and beauty, exuding authority through her gaze. This is how Moriana came to be, with her distinctive black dress. Moriana is a woman of contradictions, composed yet wild, sexy and dangerous, beautiful and terrifying. These dual aspects of her character are embodied in her appearance. At first glance, she is a visually appealing, elegant character. However, as the gameplay unfolds and she takes damage, her true nature gradually reveals itself. Interestingly, we invested considerable time in choosing her name. Team discussions ensued, with the consensus that it had to be badass yet possess a touch of gentleness. Moriana was selected for two reasons. First, it derives from the Latin word mors, meaning death. Quite fitting for the ominous necromancer, don't you think? At the same time, it's a reference to a mare, a ghost from the Slavic folklore that comes in the form of a woman. Second, the ending Ana adds a delicate, feminine touch, striking a balance between toughness and delicacy. In Moriana, vowels outnumber consonants, achieving our desired effect. But the appearance and name were not the sole considerations. We endeavored to give Moriana a voice. Auditions abounded for the role. Despite Be My Horde not being an RPG scale game with a plethora of dialogues, we still took it seriously. We sought someone who could grasp Moriana's diverse facets and contradictions we already mentioned and which define her. Amber Lee Connors proved to be the perfect fit. She skillfully navigated the delicate balance between strength, independence, and the alluring, seductive qualities we envisioned. It might sound peculiar when discussing Moriana, but Amber truly breathed life into the character.
I am Moriana, the necromancer. Tremble before me and blah blah blah. You know the drill. Let's not waste time on chit-chat. Deeds, not words. And we do have work to do.
And thus, Moriana was born. Share your thoughts on this devlog. We're eager to produce more to unveil the behind-the-scenes magic of Be My Horde. Don't forget to wishlist the game on Steam and prepare to lead your army of undead warriors. After all, in this realm, death is just the beginning. Praise be to Moriana.